Hello, I'm Nate the Effing Great, and what did I just watch? Ladies and gentlemen, I must make a confession, and that being the simple fact that I am indeed a procrastinator and I have a problem. But I guess you can say that right here, right now, it's better that I'm getting this up now, better than never, and that being the ACW Watercity WrestleCon that happened last week in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. It was a phenomenal show. It's very hard to say that there was anything bad to say about the show. I am going to be giving my review on this. It was just, you know what, let's just get right into the card. We kicked off with the $5,000 Battle Royal, where the winner gets a $5,000 contract and a future championship matchup, I believe of the winner's choosing, if I'm not mistaken. So this matchup was good. You saw a lot of different people that you never thought you'd see. A couple notes here. One of the participants, Darkchild, I was actually very surprised to see. I actually thought to myself, this must be the same guy that I saw in Wausau a few years ago. Actually, it was longer than that, to be honest. I remember seeing a Darkchild making his appearance from the ceiling, and it was a very, very cool entrance that he made. He looked exactly like him, so I am thinking that it's the same guy. There was only one woman that was in this matchup, that being Stacy, and she did a very good job. From what I've also heard, she was the only one that passed the training facility. She's the first woman of her kind to do that. So props to Stacy for being as tough as she is and just really showing her resiliency during the match. Fortunately, she did not win, neither did Darkchild. The first person that actually got eliminated was my pick to win the whole thing, and that was Adam Grace. I was not expecting that at all. I honestly thought he would make it at least a little bit further if he was going to be eliminated, but nope, he was the first one gone. Bit of a shock here. I mean, to go from main event guy to being the first one eliminated to a Battle Royal, but hey, you know something? I'm not going to complain too much because Adam Grace, well, yeah, let's just say that. The final two were, actually I should just say, the winner of the matchup was Big Mike, who is a bulldozer. He's a behemoth of a man, and he definitely deserves it. Last eliminating the man I like to call Mighty Mouse, and the man who basically told me to go do some squats. I remember actually almost talking to him after. I think it was in between the shows. I think it was like an intermission deal. I was going to give him a handshake, but then I had to hold that hand back into the hair, and he just said, get out of here, go do some squats. It was awesome. I think that guy just is really good. Mike, again, won $5,000 and earned an opportunity at a championship match his choosing at the next event, which we will get into a little bit later on in the show. The next matchup that happened on the card was the tag team title matchup, which saw the Brothers of Funstruction taking on the Dream Police. Now, before this even happened, Bret Hart made an appearance. He came out and he talked about how it was great to be back in Wisconsin, how there was a lot of memories in there. He talked about his matches, with Jim the Anvil Neidhart, being the tag team champions and traveling. It was just a really feel-good moment just to see that kind of respect being paid by a WWE legend, to go from that and just enjoying, being a part of the show that he was part of. It was just awesome to see. I really enjoyed it immensely. The deal was cut short, though, because they decided, the Brothers of Fun Destruction decided, something, we just don't care. So we're going to just interrupt, and we're going to get the tag team title match underway. It was a relatively decent matchup, to say the least. I think that this was probably my less favorite matchup on the card. Maybe it was because I don't know the Dream Police as well as I want to. The Brothers of Fun Destruction just really found a way to be entertaining, even as heels. The little flower deal that they had where it just squirts water, I thought that was just awesome. I honestly thought, the clown's going to go for an enziguri. Then I just see water just spewing out, and it's like, what the hell? Oh, well, I was not expecting that at all. It was unexpected, but it was awesome at the same time. And then we saw just balloons getting popped all over the place. It was just a very crazy matchup. But in the end, Dream Police capitalized with a 3D and pinned one of the brothers for the 1-2-3. We have new tag team champions in the Dream Police. Very interesting that his matches with Jim Neidhart, and then the next matchup it was a tag team title match, and the tag titles changed. Very interesting. But you know something? I'm not going to complain. It was a good matchup. Probably still one of my least likely favorite matches on the card. But all in all, still a good match. Next matchup on the card was Logan Lynch taking on TW3 in what I like to dub it as the rematch from WPW Returning Point. Again, just great chemistry between Logan Lynch and TW3. So many great spots, including just a dive by TW3 on him, Brock Hall, and Nathan Gust. It was just a great matchup. TW3 was about to go for the win, but Brock Hall and Nathan Gust got involved, causing a disqualification and giving TW the win by DQ. I actually did talk to TW3 a little bit after the matchup, and I said, hey, you'll get him next time. And he says, well, technically I won, so I had to give him that. He did technically win. It was just not the way that I would have liked to have seen it gone down, but I realized after what happened here, it made a little more sense. Next matchup on the card would be announced by Vicky Guerrero when all three members, Nathan Gust, Brock Hall, and Logan Lynch, were attacking TW3. Out comes Nick Colucci, who tries to make a save, and then Vicky says, Nick Colucci, Brock Hall, you have a match later for tonight. We're going to have it right now. So we have Brock Hall taking on Nick Colucci in a very stellar matchup, to say the least. Nick Colucci was about to pick up the victory, but then we see again Nathan Gust and Logan Lynch get involved and give Nick Colucci the win by disqualification. And then out would come Swoggle, who would just clear the ring with a steel chair and go crazy. And then Vicky says, well, you know something? We're going to have the WLC matchup right now. And it's going to feature Swoggle taking on Raging Nathan Gust. Now, here's the thing about this. It was very heavily built to be WLC 2 between Swoggle and El Torito, but unfortunately, due to an injury, El Torito could not compete that night. However, he did make an appearance during the WrestleCon part of it. He was very true to his word about coming out and seeing the fans and taking pictures and doing autographs, so you have to admire El Torito for that, but it would not be the only time that we'd see him here. Raging Nathan Gust versus Swoggle. Holy cow, was this WLC matchup just brutal beyond belief. Swoggle took a lot of crazy moves. We saw, chair shots getting smashed over his head. Swoggle got tossed into a ladder. Swoggle tried doing like a swanton bomb, but missed and landed on some chairs. We saw Nathan Gust was going for a superplex onto some chairs, but El Torito came in, powerbombed Nathan Gust on the folding chairs that were standing up, and then Swoggle hit the tadpole splash for the 1-2-3, and then to make things even better, Nathan Gust would be speared through a table and just taken out. Swoggle got on the microphone and he said that he always loved coming to Oshkosh, he loved being for the fans, and El Torito basically said, I believe in Spanish, that he really enjoyed his time there, he loved the fans. And Swoggle and El Torito basically agreed that WLC 2 will indeed happen in Oshkosh. So Oshkosh is getting an exclusive matchup. So totally okay with that, actually. It was really kind of nice to see that. We would get an intermission there in which, we would just walk around, talk to people, blah, blah, blah. Moving on to the next matchup on the card, that being Johnny Smash versus Carlito. Very interesting matchup, to say the least. You definitely see Carlito just having a lot more muscle than what he did in WWE. That was one of the first few things that a lot of people kind of pointed out and noticed. And I'm just like, oh, wow, he has gotten a lot bigger. And Carlito, of course, doing his antics where... Actually, what was really crazy was that he didn't come out with the apple at first and made it seem like, oh, I'm too cool for the apple. Johnny Smash kind of got into Carlito's head. Carlito went to the back, and Carlito grabs an apple. He's eating it, just enjoying it. And then finally he bites into it. Johnny Smash grabs the apple and just chucks it right across the arena. It was awesome. And during that whole deal, I think I was the first one that started a throw it back chant because, let's face it, that would be amazing. However, I think that apple was probably blown to bits by that point. But Carlito, of course, would just spit in the face of Johnny Smash. Very good back and forth matchup, to say the least. It was very cool to see Carlito in action again. Not much high flying here. It was more ground and pound, mat wrestling or type deal. Johnny Smash was pretty impressive in this matchup himself. But Carlito would get the win by hitting the backstabber for the 1-2-3. Carlito would get the victory in Oshkosh. It was really cool. And plus, I got a picture with him, so all honesty, I couldn't complain too much. Next matchup on the card was Sadist taking on Kevin Thorne. Oh boy, you want to talk about basically a Monsters Ball match. This was intense. Kevin Thorne sprayed some blood in the face of the referee, and then hit a low blow to Sadist, and then he just grabs a microphone and he says, "By the power vested in me, I now make this an Extreme Rules matchup." And he just grabs a kendo stick and just whaps Sadist like crazy. Bam, and bam, and bam, 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 bam. It basically looked like it looked like a capital punishment deal. It was just insane. We saw quite a bit of the action actually happen on the outside of the ring. Them throwing each other towards tables, through walls. Sadist would actually eventually get Kevin Thorne back in the ring by throwing him in a garbage carrier. And then just as he was picking up Kevin Thorne would just go with the blood, spit in his face, and it would just evolve from there where Kevin Thorne would just get the advantage and he would just take down Sadist. And at the point it would get to Sadist was down. Kevin Thorne's calling for a ref now finally after probably, I want to say, a good 10 minutes of them just beating the ever-living crap out of each other. Kevin Thorne would call for the ref, and who would come out here? None other than, oh man, I'm trying to remember what his name was. Chase McCoy. There we go. Ben McCoy's brother. That's right. Chase McCoy came out, grabbing the referee's shirt, doing the 1-2. Sadist kicks out. Kevin Thorne just gets in his face, just saying, "Hey, you got to count faster," and blah, blah, blah. But out of nowhere, bam! Spear by Sadist to Kevin Thorne. 1, 2, 3. Sadist picks up the victory, and it was announced that it would be earlier in the matchup that it was a number 1 contenders matchup. What title would it be for? The ACW Heavyweight Championship, which was the main event, and I'm going to get to because that was a magical matchup to say the least. One side note on this matchup, after Sadist had, hit the spear, and Mickey announced that, June 2nd, that he would be challenged for the title. It basically happened. What basically happened was Sadist left the ring. Kevin Thorne was lying in the ring for quite a while, and for the longest time, I was very scared for him. Definitely saw him breathing, but he definitely looked like he got knocked the hell out. Referees came out and they carried him off. It basically looked like he wasn't able to move on his own free will. He probably got knocked out. He probably got maybe a concussion. I haven't heard any updates going on since last week, but he just looked like he got